Hey, this is Jeff Berger, and welcome to Season 5 of the Holistic Financial Fitness Series in collaboration with Mupo TV, part of Mupo Entertainment. As the CEO and founder of Abundance and Optimum Wellness and a certified holistic wellness coach, I am of the belief we all should be living in abundance and optimum wellness physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, and financially. And today, as a certified holistic coach, I take a finance-first approach to achieving all-encompassing personal well-being by embracing new ways to true wealth in the modern world. I'm a global ambassador for an international real estate fractional ownership company, introducing a business model that is really setting the foundation for the future of our digital world around the tokenization of real estate with real-world assets. I'm providing global-minded entrepreneurs with new ways to wealth in the modern world so they can circumvent the system and go from financial fatigue to financial freedom by investing in emerging technologies for portfolio diversification. We are all about bringing awareness around alternative options from all aspects, leading one towards overall true wealth. And that's what this series is about. True wealth is not only about money, it's about physical, mental, emotional, spiritual, and financial overall well-being. And the mission is to provide real solutions for real people who are wanting to go from barely surviving to thriving again. So I'm really happy to announce today, this is my last episode of Season 5, Holistic Financial Fitness. And starting Season 6, I'm moving forward in the next generation, leading us into holistic true wealth. And I talked about that before. Holistic true wealth, not about finances only. It's going to be a plethora of physical, mental, emotional, spiritual, and financial amazing people I'll be bringing to the stage starting in Season 6 and moving forward. And this will start in September, so stay tuned. My very special guest today is a dear friend and a business associate that I have come to grow fond of, Diane Doll, and her passion to helping others. She is an incredible, talented, knowledgeable, and inspirational entrepreneur who I'm excited as she is wrapping up Season 5 with me today. So before I bring her onto the stage today, we're going to take a quick commercial break. And for those who are interested, you can actually find these interviews that I'm doing. It's a series in collaboration with Mupo TV at mupotv.com, or you can download the Mupo Entertainment app on the Android or the iPhone. We're seen in 144 countries, including Fire TV, Vimeo, and Roku. And you know what? I just got back from red carpet in the end of July in New Jersey for Mupo Entertainment, and I was humbled to receive my second award for the Best Holistic True Wealth TV series. I'm so very, very appreciative of my followers and their support along this journey. So what we're going to do is take a quick commercial break, so don't go away. We'll be right back with Diane Doll. Okay, we are back with Diane Doll, who is joining us today from Union Mills, North Carolina, originally from Canton, Ohio. And she has extensive background in corporate America. She's the former principal business economic analyst at the Timken Company, former associate director at the Student Union Operations at the University of Akron, just to list a few, along with studying executive management at Ashland University and business at Walsh University. She's a wife, she's a mom, grandmother, and great-grandmother. Wow. And is a baby boomer serial grandpreneur. She's a grandmapreneur. So welcome to the show, Diane.
Oh my gosh, Jeff. It's like, that was amazing. Thank you for such great introduction.
You're welcome.
Before I get into anything, or we get into anything, I just want to say congratulations. And it's such a pleasure knowing you, because after listening to your introduction, now I know why we resonate so well. It's because we have so many things in common. So Thank you for inviting me.
No, thank you for taking time today from your schedule. So before we actually dive into the questions, share a little bit about who Diane Doll is outside. I know you're retired, but you do have the second career here. But outside of that career, share a little bit about who Diane is from that perspective.
Well, what I do want to say is that I grew up in a large family. I have 11 brothers and sisters. And we were taught to work hard and help others. I spent a lot of time outside, climbing trees, playing kickball, working in a garden, developing a lot of those habits of being outdoors, which have carried over into my life today. After retiring, we moved here to North Carolina. I'm in between Charlotte and Asheville, and off the beaten path. And I spent a lot of time outdoors. So, yeah.
Carolina is a great place to spend time outdoors. I've got friends in South Carolina, and they've got some really great properties. So really like the Carolinas. So thank you for sharing that with the viewers. So let's jump in. I mean, this retired corporate executive is coming into the digital world. So what really got you started to looking at this amazing paradigm shift that we're experiencing right now, the digital world?
You know, it's interesting, Jeff, because I used to hear stories of people saying that when you retire, you're going to be so busy, you won't have enough time to do the things that you want to do. And it is so true, because once I retired, I was given an avenue, and I had the time freedom to be able to start really researching things that I was interested in. So, that opened up a whole new avenue to me. So I don't know if I can tell you a little bit about where you want me to go with this.
Hey, you're sharing what your story is. So go for it.
Okay. Well, when I started at Timken, I started in a department, an engineering department, and I learned all about the different disciplines in engineering: civil, structural, heating and air conditioning, electrical. And I was always fascinated with that. And I wanted to be an engineer. I wanted to build things, create things. But it was interesting because they led me into the path of business. And they said, well, we don't need engineers. We really need business people. So I developed, so I went into the accounting and finance, and got an MBA degree there, and advanced along the way, and ended up in a department called business economics. And so there I worked with marketing, manufacturing, all the executives, that kind of thing. But Jeff, I remember when we got our first computer, and I was in the accounting department. They brought in a computer. I used to work on these big spreadsheets that were hundreds of columns wide, thousands of rows deep. And we used to sit hours just spending time updating these spreadsheets. If we had one error, it could take 3 to 4 days to correct it. Sure. And then when we got our first computer, we had to share it with the whole department of accountants. And I just loved Excel. So I put everything on Excel, and I started developing that. And then we digitized everything. It took time, but we went from, and it was so much more fun. It was more fun creating. I like math. I like formulas. And it was so much fun creating all these complex formulas and doing away with all that manual task. And so it just kind of grew from there. And so And then we evolved into a department where everybody had their own computers. So
awesome.
And then actually when I worked there, I was there at the time when the internet was developed. I remember to this day, as clear as a bell, walking into our director's office, and he said, "Hey, have you heard anything about this World Wide Web?" And we both chuckled, and it was like, "Oh yeah, they want to connect the world. They want to make it easy for us to communicate." And we were laughing, and it was like, "Oh yeah, well, we'll see." And there were a lot of skeptics. They were saying how things like that would take forever. And so we went from that, and look where we are today. So that was kind of like my first introduction to all things.
Well, I was in those days too. My first computer class was with the punch cards and sticking it into the mainframe and all that stuff. I was working for Lotus Development when the internet was introduced, and back in the olden days, you'd have to buy the boxes of software and install it into your computer with the big floppy disks, blah blah blah. So yeah, it's really progressed. So our experience, there are some really great experiences and some bad experiences. So and we both had a bad experience in this world, the digital world, if you will. But it's all about embracing it and learning from it, because it really started in 2009 with regards to the digital world, the way we're looking at it today with decentralization, so forth and so on. But share one of your worst experiences and what did you learn from that? So it gives an idea to people who are skeptical, people who are, kind of step back, because I was that way for years. I stayed away from it, but you know what? Here I am today, a global ambassador. So share your experience of the bad and then what you learned from it to move forward.
Well, it's interesting. We talk about good and bad experiences. As I've grown and developed over the years, I have concluded that there's nothing other than an experience. And you can make it good or bad, however you might want to view the world. And at the time when I thought this was really a bad experience, it's actually turned out to be one of my best experiences. Back when I worked in business economics at Timken, I remember one of my colleagues walking in, Jeff, and he asked us, he said, "Hey, have you ever seen this?" He had a little silver coin. And he said, "Have you heard of the Bitcoin? Anything about the Bitcoin?" And he showed us this coin, and it was like, and there was conversation about it, where it would go and all that. And so it kept developing, and then it kept getting into bigger and bigger. And Bill and I first invested in our first Bitcoin when it hit $40. And I know people that bought it when it was a penny, and they've turned out to be multimillionaires and billionaires. But P.S.
Let me just interject here.
Oh, we're not financial advisors.
No. I was introduced to Bitcoin back in 2009 when I could have bought. I was introduced to buying 500 coins at 0.0017.
Oh my gosh! See,
and I said it was a scam, and here we are today.
Yeah, and well, they said that about the internet too. How big of a scam it was going to be, and how dangerous it was going to be. Well, and so anyway, when he talked about that Bitcoin, and then we were real estate investors. Bill and I got into buying and selling real estate and rehabbing and that kind of thing. And we got involved then when the market took a downturn in the 80s. So we kept our heads above water, but things were, we lost some investments. And with Bitcoin, when we invested in that, we went with an exchange called Mt. Gox. And that was one out there that ended up going bankrupt. And they did a rug pull on us. And we had put a significant investment in it. And so we fought for about 4 years. And it ended up, we had to work with their lawyers who were in Japan. And we ended up getting our money back, our initial investment, but we lost our whole growth on the value of the Bitcoin. So, but we learned a lot. We learned a lot. Yes, we learned how to navigate. We learned how to research, who to trust, what to look at, and we have not turned away from cryptocurrency. As a matter of fact, we're embracing it much, much more because of where we see it going.
Yeah, absolutely. It's taken off really fast. And
Mm-hmm.
so we're going to take a quick commercial break, and then we'll be right back.
Okay.
And the viewers have heard me talk about me being an ambassador to an international real estate fractional ownership company. And this commercial is going to just give a little teaser, a little introduction, and just kind of provide some information about, what I am doing in this space. So we'll be right back with Diane Doll. Okay, we are back with Diane Doll from North Carolina. And my last question before commercial break was, what was one of your worst experiences? And I'm going to start out right now with this one is, what is one of your best experiences to date?
Oh, wow. Well, I'm going to keep this limited to digital currencies
and
real estate.
That's fine. This is the holistic financial fitness.
Financial fitness, yes.
That's good.
And I love that because so much is depends on our health and wellness, and our health and wellness depends on our financial fitness, which is why I like your mission statement and your vision so much, Jeff. And I resonate with it so much because it is so important, and they are linked significantly for sure. So one of the things that I got involved with after some of those bad experiences, I've been doing a lot of research with not only with different types of investments, like with what you're offering too, with your shares of investment. I've been looking at cryptos and other avenues. And one of the things that's concerned me quite a bit is just the control that the big corporations are taking over all of us with their marketing, and with now with AI coming out on the scene, and they're designing a lot of things that you research on the internet with AI. They want you to know what they want you to know. So you've got to be really, really careful. And I became aware of an opportunity to be involved with a data center. It's a decentralized data center. And so I have become a digital data center landlord. And what that means is we have servers that we rent out to those that want to keep their data private. They want to keep their photos away from the big players. They want to keep their data private. So now I'm a digital data center landlord. And that's one of the avenues that I'm involved with.
Yeah, no, that's great, because data is it is sold out there from Google and Facebook and Instagram, LinkedIn, all of these social media, as well as when you sign up for a course, or your bank, not your banking information is sold, but your name, your address. Anytime you do a search on Google, a search on any of these browsers, that search, everything that you do is keyed in, and then next thing you know, you're getting advertisements on Facebook and advertisements on.
Oh, I know.
It's just crazy. And I knew that they were capturing this data. However, just two interviews ago was Terry Tiller, who talked about security and how much of it is rampant out there. And you know, as I said, I knew that there was a lot of it out there, but when I went through his course or his class course, whatever, I was like totally petrified.
Yes.
All right. And the thing is that, yeah, you know, when you sign up terms and agreement and, you know, all that kind of stuff, it's always buried in the middle of those terms and agreements in like 1.2 font where you can't even read it. And how many people read 50 to 100 pages of the terms and services?
Oh,
and
I know.
That's why they do that. That's why they do that.
Yep. And they know they'll just check, you know. And it's like, what other choice do you have? But now we have another choice. We have cloud hosting that people can get their own back office. Businesses can get their own back office. It's HIPAA compliant. They can put all their data there without worrying about the big people that are controlling all your data.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
it's a big business. And you know what is sad about it is there's a few that control the many. We've all heard that statement. There's a few that control the many. And with our new data server, and look at what's going up. Just take a drive. All you have to do is go from North Carolina to South Carolina or Georgia. I drive up to Ohio quite a bit. And the number of data centers that are being built are huge. Yep. The introduction of artificial intelligence is causing the need for data centers to skyrocket, and which means they're going to control more and more of the data. So now we have something decentralized. And what I like about it is I don't have to know anything about constructing a data center. All I'm doing is I'm supporting the infrastructure. So my investment to invest in the infrastructure allows me to kind of set it and forget it. I can walk away, sort of like what you do with your investment. You can put that in and you can let it go because there's people that know what they're doing and they're on the same mission as you are. And so you can watch your financial accounts grow. We just got our first check yesterday with the server that we ordered and put in place. And so it's like, oh my gosh, now the revenue will just come in. And you know, another thing that concerns me, especially at my age, we don't know what's going to happen to our investments. Stock market dropping. It's controlled by the banks. It's controlled by the government. This actually allows your own financial freedom so you can control and watch your own investment and do what you want with it.
Yeah. So that's very good points. And, you know, decentralization is all about, you know, it's the distribution of power and control away from centralized authorities and giving more power back to the majority, because in our centralized systems, you got the people up here who have created it, and then the masses. I'm talking about billions of people down here in the masses, and they're benefiting up here and we're suffering down here. So that's the benefit of decentralization. And I encourage people to learn about decentralization and start to get to know about it, because that's where most of the world is going. I mean, there's still going to be the centralized systems, but if you don't want them to be in control, get the hell out. So we're going to take one more commercial break before we wrap up, and we'll be right back with Diane Doll. Diane, and we're kind of coming up to the end of the show here. So if there was one piece of advice that you could share with the audience who is looking for that glimmer of hope, and whether it's personal or professional or a combination of both, what would that piece of advice or nugget that you'd want to share with them today be?
Oh, well, Jeff, you know, when I was looking at that as one of the questions that maybe you would ask, there's so many things that I could speak about when it comes to that. But one of the most important things is learn how to become an entrepreneur. You can become an entrepreneur, and you don't have to be an entrepreneur by yourself, but you can be with a community, and being involved with a community of folks that can be supportive and help you grow in abundance and in health and wellness and financial fitness. That's what I would suggest, is really look for someone to align yourself with that can help put you on the right path. And looking back over my career, it's just that I was too busy. I worked for corporate America. I was raising a family, and I worked 16 hours a day. They paid well, but I just had no freedom. I would work, and then I would work overtime, and then I would take work home, and then I would get up early and go into work. And when I look back over the time that was lost, it brings a lot of sadness to my heart. So I would say find balance. There's nothing wrong with working in corporate America or higher education. Everything's needed, but find balance and don't let them own you. And by becoming an entrepreneur, to balance this life with that life and find avenues where you can let your finances grow. And so you can, we talk about retirement, but it's really not retirement, it's career change. And so it's retirement from the standard to going into something and exploring some really awesome opportunities. So I would encourage everyone to stay healthy. That is the most important thing, because if you don't have health and get control of being out in nature, walking, staying balanced, staying financial, and that all leads into financial fitness.
Yeah.
And look for something to give back. I mean, the communities I'm involved with, I got involved in a new crypto too that is going to be mega. It's going to be taking the world by storm. And what it is a project that actually has a community that supports itself, so that the businesses that are becoming tokenized, real estate's tokenized, so many things are becoming tokenized that why not help each other? There's enough abundance out there to help everyone. There don't need to be a few to control the many. We should all live in abundance.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And I threw up on the banner below, you can see Diane's Facebook. If you want to reach out to her, you can reach out to her on her Facebook. So, Diane, I can't thank you enough for taking the time to be my guest today.
Thank you, Jeff, for inviting me. I was a little nervous. I hope that didn't
You're fine. You're fine. You're good.
I'm not a polished presenter like you are. So I just wanted
you.
to offer a few words of encouragement.
And you have brought so much value and insight to, this amazing dynamic paradigm shift that we're going through right now. And it's going to change the future. And you're already helping make that change for the world. That represents holistic financial fitness, educating people about the importance around the world of decentralization. Blockchain is here to stay, and it is the future of all technology. And, people need to become aware of that. And this is where it's going, and it will stay. It's only going to get bigger and bigger. So lastly, if you're interested in becoming educated around the holistic financial fitness arena, decentralization, real world assets, real estate, fractional ownership, scan the QR code that's on the screen there. I do 3 monthly webinars, and you can sign up for any of the 3 that work best for you, or you can also sign up for a private one-on-one if those dates and times don't fit your schedule. I'm educating those who are looking for what things today are going to be changing the world over the next 5 to 10 plus years. You don't want to miss out
Yes.
being a pioneer with us, and you're not going to lose out. So the thing is that what are they creating today that's going to impact the world 5 to 10 years down the road? And don't you want to be involved with that? So, and maybe you don't, and that's okay too. But I'm confident that we have one of those things for you. And remember, I believe we all should be living in abundance and optimum wellness, physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, and financially. Holistic true wealth is about balance and harmony across all the disciplines that I just mentioned. And it's about creating a life that is, it's rich in experiences, relationships, knowledge, and purpose. So by embracing this holistic approach, we can achieve a state of well-being. And we need that so much these days, especially with the global crisis that we're currently experiencing. And so that state of well-being that is sustainable and fulfilling, leading us, with our lives to living a better life. Finally, holistic mental and financial fitness is a new path to true wealth. Thank you, Diane, and we'll see you on the inside next time. Season 6 starting in September, so look for that. And thank you so much, everybody.
Slave!